At the center of it was an attorney general who claimed she had been improperly pressured to help the Quebec engineering giant avoid criminal prosecution. And then you had a prime minister saying that was simply not the case and that he did nothing wrong. Well, today, the ethics commissioner disagreed. The scathing report describes how Trudeau engaged in a flagrant attempt to influence Jody Wilson-Raybould to further SNC-Lavalin's private interests, and declared that Trudeau and his office used their authority to circumvent, undermine, and ultimately attempt to discredit Wilson-Raybould's authority as Attorney General. Now, there's no penalty or even fine for breaking these rules. The price is political, and the cost has added up for the governing Liberals. Katie Simpson explains how this ruling marks another stunning blow, now less than 10 weeks before voters go to the polls.
Facing a damning assessment of his actions, the Prime Minister today acknowledged mistakes were made. What happened will never happen again on his watch, Justin Trudeau says, but don't for a moment think he's sorry.
What we did over the past year wasn't good enough. But at the same time, I can't apologize for standing up for Canadian jobs.
In his report, Ethics Commissioner Mario Dion found the Prime Minister directly and through his senior officials used various means to exert influence over Ms. Wilson-Raybould. There were many ways Trudeau went about trying to bend the will of the former Attorney General, directing his staff to find a solution that would safeguard SNC-Lavalin's business interests.
The buck stops with the Prime Minister, and I assume responsibility for everything that happened in my office.
While he is now publicly accepting responsibility, he told Dion something else. Mr. Trudeau argued that he could not be held vicariously liable for the actions of his senior advisors and other senior departmental officials. Dion didn't buy it. The evidence abundantly shows that Mr. Trudeau knowingly sought to influence Ms. Wilson-Raybould both directly and through the actions of his agents.
I experienced a consistent and sustained effort by many people within the government to seek to politically interfere.
The independent investigation lines up with the version of events presented by the former Attorney General, who describes the report as a vindication of sorts.
I certainly believe that there is enough evidence here to warrant an RCMP investigation.
Amid renewed calls for police to step in, the RCMP said it is examining this matter carefully and will take appropriate actions as required.
And what we have now is a clear picture of who Justin Trudeau truly is, and it's not who he promised he would be.
Trudeau's opponents were quick to point out this is his second ethics violation. A family vacation in 2016 to the Aga Khan's private island broke the rules since the spiritual leader had lobbied the government.
Mr. Trudeau cannot be the Prime Minister of Canada, and I'm hoping people in the election coming up make that decision.
And Katie Simpson is in the foyer of the House of Commons, so let's hear more about the person at the center of this scandal. What more did Jody Wilson-Raybould have to say?
She says she's grateful for the report, adding she's glad the commissioner wasn't distracted by wrong information about the events or about her personally. She's now going to point to this as evidence that she wants to do politics differently.
Yeah, and she is running as an independent in Vancouver, but for the Liberals, you know, and I'm thinking ahead here, are there consequences for the Trudeau advisors who will be working on his election campaign?
No one's been thrown under the bus just yet. Justin Trudeau is standing by his inner circle. No one's been fired. No one's been kicked off his re-election campaign team. But Justin Trudeau said this is going to be part of a bigger question for Canadians when they vote this fall.
Okay, Katie Simpson on Parliament Hill tonight. Thanks very much.